guys, been a few days since I've got to make a video. We've been busy around here. A lot of new calves. Rona, if you remember Rona. If you don't remember Rona, go back and look at the other videos. She's got a new home, a good new home. She didn't die. She's gone to live with some high schoolers, and they'll be taking care of her for a while and learning about cows. And that's an awesome opportunity for us to be able to share that with the school, and also for Rona, because she's going to get a lot of attention, and also for the students that'll get to experience something that a lot of them will never get to experience otherwise. So we're really excited about that. Wanted to share some stuff for you today, or with you today, about our conservation efforts. Just some of the things we do around here to improve the land and to make the land better, and to make sure that we have as little negative impact as possible. Then at the end, stay tuned, because we've got some big announcements. You may notice some, maybe, if you're paying attention. I hired me a new girl about 27 years ago. Still not sure if she's going to work out or not. She's kind of slow. Now these girls have only been in here about 3 or 4 days. Getting feed. We've been hand feeding them. And when I drove by about 10 minutes ago, they were a quarter-mile away at the other end of the field. They hear me crank up, and they come running. At least they're being patient. Coming up week, we will be putting out some seed. We put out ryegrass and clover. And that does a lot of things for us. It gives us some grazing during the wintertime, during the colder months. It gives us some really good grazing in the spring, and possibly even some hay. But most importantly, what it does, it gives the ground some cover, and it breaks up the hard ground. The roots and the ryegrass and the clover, they go into the hard ground where it may be compacted from the cows walking on it and tractors going over it. And it breaks up that ground, just makes a huge improvement on the ground when you get a chance to put some winter grazing on it. Just does a lot of work for you. Keeps runoff from getting into your streams, and we're going to talk some more about that later. But this is our cedar. We've had it for a long time. We just got through doing a little work on it. There's some parts right up in here. They were just little bitty rings. Cost about 50 cents a piece, but took us about 8 hours worth of labor to take them off and put them back on. So we got it all ready to go, and we're ready to put out seeds. This here is where you put the small seeds, the clover seeds. The clover also adds nitrogen to the soil naturally, instead of having to fertilize as much and put as much artificial nitrogen on the ground. Then this does it naturally through the clover, which is a legume. And they go in here, and they go down this little tube here and go into the ground. The big seeds go in the back, a lot bigger hopper back there, you can see. But we'll get to show you this in operation next week, hopefully. Maybe we should work on manners. This is another thing we do that's for conservation efforts, as well as humane treatment of animals. These are calves behind us that are being fed out. They have access to grain. They will be processed eventually for beef, and but we never confine them. And what does that do for the ground? Well, when the animals concentrate in an area, they're going to tear up the ground. You're going to create runoff problems. So not only is it great for the cows, they can run around, they got plenty of space to roam, plenty of grass to eat. It's also good for the ground, and it helps prevent a lot of bad runoff. They think I'm going to feed them, even though they have feed. This is another huge area of conservation. As you can see, this lake covers about 15 acres, and it's completely fenced all the way around. That does a few things. It allows for a buffer strip to grow between where the cows can get to it and the lake itself and the water itself. And when cows go in the lake, they create trails, and then that just creates runoff into the lake. So preventing them from actually getting in the lake solves a lot of problems too with runoff and water quality. Another thing we do, as you can see in this grass behind me, the cows just came off of this grass. And one thing we don't do, or two things we don't do, is we don't overstock, meaning we have too many cows on the amount of grass we have available, and we don't overgraze. We rotate our grazing every few days, depending on the pasture. Sometimes a couple weeks, even up to depending on the time of the year. But we never graze below around 4 to 6 inches, and that keeps plenty of buffer between the rain and the ground, so the rain doesn't beat into the bare ground and cause runoff, cause all your nutrients to run down the hill. So having some grass there does a lot to maintain your pastures, and also to maintain the water quality of the creeks and lakes that are here and that go downstream. Since we've fenced off all of our creeks and lakes, which just last year alone we put up over 18,000 feet of fence to fence off the creeks and streams and lakes. And when we did that, we had to provide water. We'd always provided fresh water from a well for the cows, but now we have to check those every day because they can turn them over. You can have a problem. But our cows solely depend on fresh water from a well. They never drink out of a lake or out of a creek. Another thing we do every year in the late summer, we start stockpiling grass, which means we keep the cows off of certain pastures so that the grass can grow up. As you can see behind me, here we are in late September. We've got a lot of grass right here in this pasture, and we've got several others that we've held back to. And what it does, it allows us to get farther into the winter without having to feed, so we don't have to cut as much hay during the summer. We try to stockpile enough that gets us into mid-December. Sometimes we've made it till after the first of the year and all the way into January before we even had to start feeding hay. And the cows do much better on the grass. It's less fuel cost, less labor. It just works out real good for us, and it's a huge part of conservation. This calf is playing with this cedar limb. Hey, thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe and hit the bell so you'll know when we got another video coming out. You get a notification. And also leave some comments. If you've learned something about conservation, let us know what you've learned. If you've got more questions about conservation, let us know what those questions are. We'd love to explain it and share with you what we do here. Now for the big announcements. 1, we got t-shirts coming. 2, we got hats, not this one, but we've got hats coming. But the most important announcement that we have beef coming in about 3 weeks. From now, we will start getting in some beef. So I'll put a link to our order page below, and you can go ahead and reserve that, and we will get it to you. We offer free delivery in LaGrange if it's over $150 purchase, and otherwise you can pick it up for free. A lot of things we can do, but look on our page, look on our link, see what you like. Go ahead and place your order so it'll be ready, because I guarantee you it's going to sell out. I get calls every day, so y'all keep up and look on our Facebook page too. We'll have an announcement there. It's LJL Ranch, and also follow along on our Instagram. It's LJL Ranch on Instagram as well. So we put pictures up there as often as we get a chance. So thank y'all for watching. Come back next time. Take care. Have a wonderful week. Enjoy some football this weekend.